Hi, how are you today? I'm just checking in, seeing how everybody's doing. Um, my morning's been pretty busy, and I have dogs and had to deal with dogs and stuff. And I say deal with them because they're like kids, got to keep them occupied and, keep everything going on and keep things going and clean up after them, things like that. So, but I love them. They're just as cute as they can be. They're about 7 months old sisters. So anyway, I was just wondering how everything was going today, and just encourage you to um, do something positive for yourself today. And um, you know, if it's not going very good, I apologize for that. If I could take it away, I would. But anyway, hopefully, you can find something, anything that you could be positive about. Any little thing, just to start, and smile if you can. And if not, I understand. I know there's been a lot of things that you know in the last year that stumped me, and it was like, okay, I gotta get through this. So anyway, I just and encourage you, don't be down on yourself, don't beat yourself up, don't, if you're going to talk to yourself, which it's very empowering to talk to yourself. So if you're going to talk to yourself, then you're a team. You and your that inner voice is a team. So don't forget it, because you're not by yourself. We're all here, and we all have that inner side of us to either make us feel bad about ourselves, or or encourage ourselves to do positive things. So anyway, and you are enough. If today's not going good for you, it's the first part of the year. The first few days, it's January 6th, 2026. So it's the first few days of the 2026 year. And sometimes those first few days just kind of, you want to change things, but you don't know what. You want to make things different, and you don't know how. You want to leave the last year behind, and let go of those, if there's any lingering regrets, or bad feelings about last year. It's done and over. You do not have to carry it with you. If I have any say about it, or my opinion, you don't have to carry it with you. So those are all days behind you. You never get them back again, but you can make them different for today and for tomorrow. So just pat yourself on the back. Just pat yourself on the back, and know that you are enough. You're doing the best you can. Don't think you're not. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. We all have anxieties we go through. We all have days that we're depressed, or we're trying to figure out things, or money doesn't go far enough, or all those things. But in the end, in my experience, they do work out. Maybe not perfectly the way we want them, but they do work out eventually. So I just want to encourage you to just, even if you're having a hard time right at this moment, you could be crying your eyes out, and crying is good for you. It helps relieve the grief, or the sadness, or the depression, whatever is going on. And I encourage you, if you think that you're clinically depressed, make a doctor's appointment. Make a doctor's appointment, see if there's anything that can be done. There's different things that our body needs to to keep going, and work through depression and things like that. And there's lots of triggers, lots and lots of triggers. So don't be afraid to go to the doctor and say, I really need some help. And if that doctor doesn't help, or if you're not satisfied with that, then they're only human. Then take your best your best opinion of what you think you need, and find a different doctor. There's nothing wrong with that. Second opinion, third opinion, whoever you need to go to, if you need to, whether you're a man or a woman, so definitely don't get stuck in a rut. Don't feel like, and today will pass. If today's not a good day, it will pass. If it is a good day, then thank you. I'm so glad to hear. I would love to hear it. So, my day's been so, and a few obstacles, but nothing major. So I can't complain. I cannot complain. And I just want to share with you a few things that happened my last year, actually the last few years. So I lost my spouse in 2019, my husband, and so that's, you think that's been quite a few years, and but grief has a way of sneaking up on you. So and I went to work after he passed, and I thought, okay, I've got this. I can handle this. I got to take care of myself. And I thought I was doing really well. And I worked at a bakery, 30 miles away from my town, and I handled it as best that I thought I was. And I have 4 kids, and I have 3 stepchildren, 4 of my own, 3 stepkids, and they're all grown, and so I didn't want to leave anybody with, what I didn't want to feel like I was a burden to any of them. So I thought, okay, I'm going to handle this. So I did really well. And I was gaining ground. Last year at this time, I had just bought a new barn, had a barn arrived, and they set it up, and I was happy, and I had horses, and I had lots of things going on that I thought were really, really great. I thought, oh, I'm making some progress here. And, it's been 6 years. I think I should be making progress. So I was proud of myself. So then as the spring came along, then things started changing some in my mindset, and I started doing more crying and meet different people. And I had left out a part. So 2 years ago, in 2023, I had changed to a different job from the bakery, and now I was working closer to my home, 5 minutes away, at a preschool, and with special education children, which is fine. I love them. I have a special needs grandson, so I have no problem with that. And I thought, okay, I'm doing good. And so, but by the end of this school year, I wanted to change schools. Not anything wrong with the school I was working at, just I thought I needed a different challenge. And so things were changing, and I did really well. But when summer hit, oh my goodness, I had, more crying, anxiety. What was I going to do? I was out for the summer, and I couldn't get rid of this anxiety feeling. I met someone online, and talking, but I could not get rid of this anxiety. And so I've learned quite a few things. I started listening to Carl Jung. It's Carl Jung on YouTube, and he's great if you have any issues with thinking that there's something wrong with you, or what's going on in your life. He's a great one to listen to, because I understood quite a bit of what he was saying, and so I learned a lot about myself through listening to him. And I learned that sometimes in our life that things will get disrupted, or one reason or another, and it's not even anything to do with us. It's our mind frame, or we could be going along just fine, and all of a sudden we'll want to do something different. So then we have the time frame of moving away from what was in the past to make room for what's coming in the future. So 63, I'll be 63 in March, so I'm 62. Doesn't seem like it. I don't know what 62 is really supposed to feel like, but I have felt a little older, because I did go through some weight loss in the spring, and change some eating habits, and trying to avoid diabetes, and all those things. So anyway, it's just been this whirlwind. And so so throughout the summer, I got to spend time with sisters, and my different sisters that I have, and reconnect with another one, and just trying to keep life going, and try and figure out why I had all this anxiety. So I going on YouTube and listening to Carl Jung, and there's another man, Alan Watts, and they're both older. I don't even think they're with us any longer. Older psychologists. Did a lot of I don't know about Alan Watts, but I know that Carl Jung did a lot of studying about personalities and things. And so anyway, it's just been really eye-opening to see that I could go from feeling like I was stable and making progress and patting myself on the back to, what the heck's going on with me? Why am I so anxious? What's going on with me? And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what it was. And so after I started listening, and I went to the doctor. The doctor was helping me try and calm down. I even went over to one of the facilities to find out from, talk to a specialist, to find out, am I losing my marbles or what? And so, but different things can cause different chemical changes in our body, and depending on what you may need. So you may need to see a doctor on certain things, but look into it. Don't always just take their word for it. Look into it, see what works for you, see what doesn't work for you. So anyway, I was out for the summer, and then I enjoyed the summer with grandkids, and as much as I could. And so it was just really strange time. So then school came around again, and I had gotten a different job at a different school, which I was so proud and happy, and I felt like I could do this because I've got so many years in experience with children, and I did foster care for 18 years. My late husband, and I did foster care for 18 years in our home, and that stopped when he passed away because I didn't think that I could do that. So we had 120 children come through our home, and there were 5 here when he passed, and we had good friends that helped, and the social the foster agency was just wonderful, helped, and they and some of them were already headed to adoption homes and things like that. So it worked out, and so then that allowed me to go ahead and go to work. I didn't have to worry about things so much. So anyway, okay, I'm getting off track now. So anyway, I felt good about this position, and then I started going to work, and it was a different type of schedule. It was special needs kids. I knew 80% of the kids that were in there. There was only 10, and I knew at least 8 of them from the previous year. So it wasn't the kids. I could just deduct that it was a different change of routine, and I'm not new to school situations or children, so I think I felt out of place. Like I wasn't new to it, but I'm in a new position. Other people knew me from years of my grandkids, my own kids, my grandkids, and the foster children going to the same school. So they knew me. But I still felt like I was in a new position that I couldn't navigate very well. So I ended up having a lot of anxiety. I ended up leaving the job after 3 weeks, maybe even a month. I ended up leaving because I didn't want to keep calling in. I felt like I was letting people down, and that added to my anxiety. I felt like I was leaving, here I was a grown woman, 62 years old, and I'm acting like I'm, 21 and not knowing what I'm doing. At least that's how I felt. So anyway, I did leave that job, and so then I didn't have a job, but they did offer me substitution. So I did go and I did sub, and that was fun. Again, I don't think it was something that I could do long term. With my anxiety, there were certain things like nap time, stuff like that. Were just kind of triggers for anxiety. Not to anybody's fault. It just seemed to be the situation. No one was doing anything wrong or anything like that. So, anyway, then I ended up. I thought, what am I going to do? My son, my oldest son was stressed out and trying to figure out, well, what's going to happen, Mom? So the kids were trying to help me as much as they could with my stuff and sell my stuff and sell some of the things that I didn't need. And then I learned that was part of letting go of the past to make room for the future. My horses are gone. I still have one that's in a distant pasture that I'm taking care of. But other than that, my, horse trailer's gone. But I'm not, it just is. It is what it is. So anyway, and I couldn't figure out why. I thought, what's going on? I've had a lifelong passion for horses. So this is what I've learned, is that whatever's going on is making room for what's coming in the future. And it won't happen overnight. It is subtly changing, like not drastically every day, but a little bit every day. And then I was able to, in December, the end of November, I did go in and because I didn't have my full-time job any longer, I did qualify for Social Security survivor's benefits. So I do have that coming in, and that's a big help. that's a big help, just knowing that that's coming in. But of course, that's not enough to really live on. And so I'm still looking for, that perfect situation that's gonna, elevate me up. And even though I'm 63, and even though I felt like I was, had a lot of experience, I haven't had a lot of experience being 63 or 62, I should say, but now I'm almost 63. So definitely haven't had any experience being 63. So there's newness coming back again, something new. So that's okay, because that's what happens in life. There's new things coming all the time. So the one sure thing about life is changes, and then the day that we go see the Lord. So, so that's where I'm at today, and that's kind of a quick version of my last year, and that's why I kind of wanted to make this videos too, and to get to know people in this. And my motivation wishes is the name of my channel, and just to wish you, my audience, my community, my friends, patience with yourself, and don't be hard on yourself, and don't look for answers where you think that, if it doesn't seem like there's an answer there, don't keep going there. It's like, okay, well, that wasn't an answer. And so as much as I was thinking that it was a bad time through all this anxiety, there are blessings to it, because even though I had the anxiety and I kind of felt like that edge feeling a lot, I did get to spend some quality time with family members, and growth in different ways, and feeling stronger in other things that I can possibly do that's ahead of me. So just, not to keep going on and on and on, but just don't give up. Don't give up, because whatever you have to contribute to this world when you were born, it's still in you, and you're not done yet. You are not done yet contributing or receiving things that you want in this life too. Anyway, I'll end on that note, because I could sit here and talk about this all day, and obviously not always can you answer back, but eventually I would like to hear some stories and about how it's going with everybody, and how you feel. And I know yesterday's session I did mention that I felt like I had ADHD, and I do, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It just helps me make more sense of what's going on. Why is my house not getting cleaned up for 2 weeks? Why is things not getting done? Why am I procrastinating over certain things? Why am I scrolling on, my phone when I should be doing other things too? So it's just been quite the roller coaster of emotions. Like, what is going on with me? And I just recently wrote, just did some journaling. It was like, well, I would really like to have my brain back, And so it's there. And sometimes we just need to relax. Sometimes we've just been the caretaker for so many years that it's just a done deal. Your body's just like, okay, you're done. You're done. You're going to take some time off. You're going to stop, and you're going to, listen to that inner voice, and you're going to take some time for myself. So anyway, don't give up. Do not give up. If you're having a bad day, just take it a little bit at a time and try your hardest to let your mind know that it's going to pass. It will pass. Maybe go for a walk, stretch, journal, write a story about what you're feeling today. That little child in you is still in you. And if there's needs that little child, which I will talk about on another day, but take care of yourself. Take care of your big self, and take care of your little self, because your little self still kind of rules the big self. So don't think it doesn't. As old as I am, I think I'm still having childhood triggers, childhood trauma triggers. So anyway, I will leave it on that note, and that's a bit of my history from last year. And I wish you well. I wish this afternoon a great afternoon for you. whatever degree you can have it. If it's full blown, go, great, exhilarating, wonderful. If it's just a little bit exhilarating, okay, that'll work too. And if you feel like you're just not exhilarated at all, then I'm with you too, because I understand. Totally understand. Okay, I will hopefully talk to you again tomorrow. I'm trying every day to do one of these so that I can keep in touch and kind of follow the process and keep track of what we're talking about, so that on my channel, Motivation Wishes, I can definitely wish you some motivation. Okay, and maybe you can wish me some motivation too. All right, so okay, have a good day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.